Officially secret document leaked about new NIO models in 2025. A top secret document regarding the new NIO models in 2025 was discovered to have been compromised. Electric vehicles are expected to make up 60% of China's new car sales by the year 2030, according to research conducted by UBS. Electric vehicles are required to make up 40% of all cars sold in China by the year 2030, per a government mandate. Why is that? And do you want to know more? Hey folks, welcome back to Finance Insights, where today we are going to discuss the new NIO models that will be released in 2025, as well as the price projections for NIO in 2025. So without any further ado, let's begin! As a consequence of this, manufacturers are required to amass a particular quantity of points annually. These points are awarded for each electric vehicle that is produced and is determined by a convoluted formula that takes into account factors such as range, energy efficiency, performance, and other elements. The fact that the initiatives originated at the very top means that the industry's earnings visibility is now more transparent than it has ever been. In this video, we have compiled data in order to propose a data-centric intrinsic value for NIO that is based on expectations for the years 2025 and 2030. We believe that the risk can be mitigated, particularly with assistance from higher-ups, despite the fact that there are a number of obstacles and dangers along this path, such as chip shortages and battery supply constraints, among other things. There is a connection between the growth of gross domestic product and the state of the economy. Because of this, it is essential to have a solid understanding of the general trend of China's economy. There is a consensus among academics that GDP influences the market for automobiles. Some people believe that the number of cars sold has an effect on the economy. Both of these statements are accurate, and our conclusion is that the issue is one of causality. The real estate debt crisis that occurred in China is the first event that we will use as a point of reference. About 29% of China's gross domestic product comes from the country's real estate market, which is twice as much as the typical developed nation. The insolvency of China's developers has been the subject of numerous news stories over the past few weeks. It is not only the developers who are impacted, but also every other stakeholder in the supply chain. It is reasonable to anticipate that the losses that resulted in this situation will have a negative impact on the purchasing power of the population. The second occurrence that we would like to bring to your attention is the severe energy shortage in China. It is believed that approximately 20 different provinces are impacted by the issue. The closure of factories is a necessity, and those that remain open must comply with a number of regulations. The owners of businesses were even forced to light their establishments with candles, and reports indicate that mobile network service was disrupted. The third occurrence is the fallout that has resulted from China's one-child policy as a direct result of that policy. The rate at which its population is expanding has been slowing down. The recent push by the government to promote the new three-child policy has also been met with resistance from the general public as a result of the high cost of both living and raising children in today's society. Generally speaking, a smaller population leads to a decrease in the demand for goods and services. As a result of these three occurrences, the purchasing power of the Chinese population is likely to decrease, which will have a negative impact on the economy. In these kinds of situations, the purchase of a new automobile frequently reflects the consumer's confidence. The outlook for sales of automobiles does not appear to be improving, and it is anticipated that sales will remain flat in the years to come. Even though an increase in auto sales is a significant boon for NIO, the shift away from light vehicles powered by internal combustion engines and toward electric vehicles would be enough to generate a sizable upside. China's annualized sales of automobiles in 2021 will amount to 24.8 million units. The 5 CAGR only accounts for 0.5% of its total. This indicates that its sales of automobiles in the years 2025 and 2030 will be 25.3 million and 26 million, respectively. Taking into account the three factors that are having a negative effect on China's economic growth, this number is acceptable. It is anticipated that sales of electric vehicles will reach 2.5 million in 2021, with 1.6 million EVs expected to have been sold by August of 21. This indicates that the electric vehicle market in China has already captured 10% of the overall automotive market. As a result, China is likely to meet the target it set for its electric vehicle market in 2030 much sooner than was originally anticipated. It is anticipated that EV sales will account for 35% and 60% of total vehicle sales by the years 2025 and 2030, respectively. Assuming that all deliveries have taken place in China, NIO has completed an annualized total of 88,500 EV deliveries. It is now estimated that it has a market share of 3.5% in China, which is an increase from 3.1% at the beginning of the year. Its percentage of the market has been steadily growing, so this is an encouraging sign. It is important to note that this 3.5 market share is still significantly higher than both BYD's 17 and Tesla's 10 shares combined. It is anticipated that NIO will ship 300,000 units by the year 2025 and 546,000 units by the year 2030, under the more cautious assumption that there will be no growth in market share. The challenging part is about to begin. What sales multiple is justified? With regard to Figure 2, the range of sales multiples associated with EV makers is excessively broad. Should we value NIO based on a multiple of its sales like Tesla does? We don't hold that view. The earnings potential from fully autonomous driving is a significant contributor to Tesla's high valuation. Should we make use of the BYD sales multiple as a benchmark in a number of different contexts? In the first place, the assumption of a low multiple in valuation offers investors a sufficient margin of safety and investment opportunity. Second, car companies, with the exception of Tesla, are typically valued at a multiple of 0.5 to 3 times their annual sales. A multiple of 3 indicates rapid expansion. The use of a sales multiple as 3 as a benchmark can therefore discount the risk of lower valuations and provide a margin of safety for any black swan events that may occur. Isn't it a little bit overly cautious for Sal to use a multiple of 3? Because it did not take into account the potential for growth in market share in exports, and the answer would then be yes. Therefore, a sales multiple of 5 is a good compromise between a conservative valuation and the potential for growth. In light of this, we will defer to your judgment regarding the multiples that you would like to apply. According to our model, the potential upside for NIO by 2025 is between 40 and 180%, and the potential upside for NIO with FSD by 2030 is between 155 and 409%. Considering how committed the Chinese government is to advancing its electric vehicle industry, these figures are most certainly within reach. In addition, recently, the Minister of Industry and Information Technology, Zhao Yuqing, stated that there are too many manufacturers of electric vehicles and that the government will encourage consolidation when this occurs. This will make it more difficult for people to join. NIO will benefit from this in a number of ways. However, investors should be aware of the potential dangers posed by the real estate and debt crises in China. Not only could China's current real estate and debt crisis bring about a global economic slowdown or even depression, but it could also bring about such a slowdown in China itself. In such a scenario, our model would be shown to be incorrect. Instead of sitting in their cash and doing nothing, investors should think about leaving some of it on the sidelines. Entirely keeping this in mind, prior to making any kind of investment, we strongly suggest that you carry out extensive and comprehensive research on the topic at hand, and then give us your seal of approval. Thanks for watching our video.